Along the riverbank, thinking about alder and looking for a good sample to show everyone and talk about. And I came across this shrub, and at first glance, the leaves and the structure of it look very alder-like, and could easily be misidentified as alder if you just took a quick look. But I always emphasize in labs, when we're in person, the importance of touching and looking closely at the plant species we're trying to identify. So if you actually feel these leaves, they're much softer and fuzzier than an alder. So this is actually a young cluster of paper birch that I have here. It's hard to show in the video, but it is quite fuzzy along the petioles and near the bud of the leaves. If this was alder, it would have a much waxier, shinier leaf to it. And look at the size of it. If we had an alder this size, it would likely be covered in catkins. This is a very young birch. It is starting to get quite tall there, which is a good clue that it's not an alder. But an alder this size should have a lot of reproductive structures on it. This birch, I don't see any catkins on it yet. Birch and alder are actually in the same family, so they have a lot of similar characteristics, such as producing catkins. And the bark in both species also has a lot of the lenticels, so those porous gas exchange areas that you can see, these little bumps on the bark. So young paper birch, at first I didn't notice any peeling bark, especially down here. The bark looks very much like an alder. But you can see here, once you start investigating a little bit more on an older stem, it is starting to peel on there. So really important in your plant ID to get it right. Take your time, touch, look closely, think about more than one characteristic.